niggas, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Ace Maceo, the Divine One. Tonight, we are back in the temple and coming straight off of the trading floor, straight off a meeting with Ifwen Quest Jones. And after talking to bro, after our recent consultation, he gave me some game. I wasn't just consulting him; he was consulting me. See how it works, and pretty much he's putting me on to a level of locked in. You get it? A level of focus, a level of drive. The what it takes to excel in whatever field that you are going forth in, whatever path you are taking. Feel me? And for me personally, right now I'm taking on trading in the finance markets right now, and that is a whole game of itself. It's like when I first learned how to try and make beats, or when I first got my job and was learning how to deal that game, and it changes the way you think, as well as to be excel at it. You can excel at anything. That's one thing though, is a point of with any skill, with any task that it may be, whether it may be music, art, trading, anything, you can become great at it through practice, repetition, work, experience, so on and so forth. But where people get discouraged is when they start and they're not good, and especially in the trading game. In the trading game, yes, you can paper trade, but there's a level of emotions that you take out of it when you're just paper trading. So with me, I'm just going full with my own money. And when you're using your own money in trading, your emotions are more tied into it. That's where you really get to understand the metaphysical aspect of emotions and the water current, the fluidity, the liquidity. You get it? When it comes to wealth, money, cash flow, so on and so forth. So when you're in the market and you're in the trade, and you're seeing your trade maybe going to your stop loss, and when it hits your stop loss, pretty much you lost the trade or lost the bet. Or when it's going to your take profit and you're up, and you're up, and you could close the trade and be in profit, but you haven't hit your take profit yet. So it really becomes a game of mental discipline. And they have books on like trading psychology just itself, going not even on the technical aspect. And it's just a whole other world. But just applying that to everything and in every area of your life, or whatever it is that you want to do or become or be. You feel me? So like recently we've had like Kai Cenat come out of the cut, and I'm seeing how he's entered like a level of locked in, that where he's truly coming from a level of abundance, of wealth, where some people may say it's flexing, but really you gotta understand that ask yourself, what would you do if you did everything? If you had unlimited resource or had the ability to do whatever you wanted, could invest, could spend it however you wanted. Yes, you can buy every car, yes, you can buy every designer, but it gets to a point to where like, what are you going to do beyond that? And now you see himself exploring himself as a creator, not just as a streamer or content creator, but more so as an artist. And you can go into like the drawing aspect, and we see him coming with the clothing brand Vivid, which I'm gonna decode that in a little bit. But you see him also, like, he's posting videos on his he's had like a secret YouTube page, and on there he's posting videos of him creative directing or giving creative insight, reading books just out of practice and consistency, just so he can speak better and more fluently. Like this man is entering. He's on his Marty Supreme. He's locked in. They saying he's giving Kanye tendencies. But it's, everybody gonna say what they want to say. A lot of people gonna hate on what he's doing. They call it stupid. But you cannot hate on the journey of self-improvement. You cannot hate on trying to become great, because he's literally saying, fuck what I've built in the sense of who I was as just being a streamer. He wants to evolve past that. He wants to go beyond that. Even as he explains it, he was on the racetrack on the loop, and feels like he got off of it, but could feel the loop like calling him back in. And that's just the matrix. That's the spiritual gravity, as we'll call it. Because whenever you will try and set forth your own path and create your own world, your own reality, this will be the case, because you are running off from the cycle and the world that was and creating a new one in open space. So you have to develop your own density. You get it? So like, even in my case, you feel me, before I was known as just a music producer and everybody wants me to do music, ask for beats and shit. Now I'm truly at a point within myself where I do not have to make another beat again. Yes, there is beats that probably will end up creating, probably will hop on there and cook all day, but I actually do not need to make another beat again. Like, I am beyond the music. I enjoy listening to music more than I do creating it, because creating it got to a point where it just, the enjoyment of it lost itself. You feel me? And a lot of that comes from the music business side of things. And even in the music business side of things, it's a whole game that they're playing on the artist in of itself, which I'm probably gonna run on another day, but I'm trying to keep this on topic, which, well, it kind of gets into where I'm going at with this, because all this is a lot, because all of this is really the year of the fire horse. We're coming out of this year of the snake, right, with the Chinese astrology, coming out of the year of snakes, so it's the year of transformation. And now we're really seeing the transformations, like astrologically and on earth as well. You're seeing them play out. You're actually seeing the transformations. And before I'm coming out of that being the musician, now I'm going more into being a writer, a storyteller, creative director, really more just but as well, my trading, getting into my Ifwen Quest Jones bag, and into the money markets and such. But I'm just evolving myself past me sitting here and make beats all day, me sitting here and record songs all day, go so on and so forth. I see more. You feel me? I want to experience more. Even in the case of even in a creative sense, like, music is just one aspect of the craft. You feel me? Like, when I was younger, I was working on writing books. I was working on putting together movies. You remember back when they used to have the GTA roleplay videos? I was making GTA roleplay videos. We had the eight people Discord. Not even Discord. That was back on the PS4 party chat days. And we recording it through there, and you had to record it both through the PS4, and it was like you had to record, because at that time you could do it that way. We recorded through the Rockstar editor, so you could get like the cinematic shots, and then you recorded it through the PS4 as you actually in the gameplay, and then you would put that into Sony Vegas, or whatever editing software you could get at the time. And then overlay, chop up the clips, put your text on there, edit it however you want. And that was my what I was doing when I was there, when I was 12, 11, 13, so on and so forth. I got into music when I was like 15, 16, somewhere around there. But originally I was like the video kid. See, that I was a video editor for a long time. So, but even that knowledge is deep in the subconscious. So like I have the vision still, but the ability, all I would have to do is just lock back in on the softwares, and we back to it. Because with this Forex, that's exactly what happened. I was doing Forex on my before I got out of high school, but COVID had happened, so I was like, then just completely forgot about it. But coming back into it, like a lot of the same concept came right back to me. So now I'm able to get back in the market, apply it right into it. So where I'm getting at is when it comes to these different art forms, these different talents, these crafts, they take a level of participation, a focus, that requires one to not play the loop game, to play the algorithmic game. And that's what I've been finding myself playing subconsciously, as much as I've been trying to not play it. Because see, these live streams, I don't do them every day. Yeah, I post every day, but they're usually clips that I've had drafted. I go into a state of channel and I'm probably just batch recording type shit. And even in that, it's like, all right, how am I putting these out? What am I creating? What am I talking about? And I have these ideas, I have these visions. I'm trying to create these worlds, brands, so on and so forth, whatever you want to call it. I call it the lore, you feel me? Really the magic in play, you get it? When we get in talking about Ukiyo verse and the stories, Charles Luxembourg, Andreas Maximus, Black Moon, the hyper sigils and such. In that case, if we're not playing the algorithmic game, what is that bug? Because at this point, it's damn near an egregore that I can see both in myself, but I can see it on the collective scale as well. Because I can see how, as a creator, you're conflicted because you wanna create, you wanna share your work, but you don't want to get burnt out. But at the same time, you want to give it your all in to the projects that you're creating. And to some people, the creative act itself is a sacred act, is a meditative act, you could say private act, so on and so forth. People have their methods. People like gatekeeping, so you could say whatever. But I feel what it's coming to is, it's all more so being authentic all the time. You feel me? Turning that camera on and just living as if you were being watched all the time. Living as if you were a streamer. Because like with this mentality, you have to really think, how limitless can one be? How much of the journey can I record and see develop over time? Like the fact that, like, this is what's crazy to me, the fact that we were able to see Kanye in them early years, then to now, and you could see the growth and development, the evolution, that is a beauty to see. Like you could see, like, he had this vision, this dream, and it played out. You get me? And even Kai Cenat with the secret YouTube channel, you seeing he, even in his reading videos, just reading 20 minutes a day, you can see the development of his speech. You get it? So even for myself, in my own videos, when I watch them back, from even on this Ukiyo Temple channel, me now, my consciousness, uh, to what, even when y'all seeing this, to where I'll be even in a different place when the public is seeing this. But if you're seeing this now, where my consciousness is now, compared to my videos last week, last month, a year ago, 3 years ago, and so on and so forth, is in a different space. And it's constantly evolving, and one should be striving to constantly evolve, improve 1% better every day, Kaizen, and so on, and getting and improving and attaining that higher state, getting closer and closer to your dream every chance that you get, showing up as that character every day. And which is where we're getting to, because now when I ask myself these questions, and I'd be like, who am I? What is my concept of myself? How do I want to show up? You feel me? Or better yet, how I was talking on my last one live, I was like, how the Black Moon War in this stage of my life has really been a question of, how do I want to live my life? What do I want to do? What do I want to see every day? And it's getting to like, what does it take to get there? What will you do to get there? Not in the Marty Supreme sense, because Marty. I'm not even gonna talk about Marty ass. But the journey that you decide, the path that you create, you are the author of the story. You create the path ahead. You feel me? And what I want to show y'all, or at least record for myself as an aspect, is the showing up as that character and the manifestation of such a reality, of such a lifestyle, from the magic, from the work itself. Because see, now this is the next stage of this, because now I have to actually explain what is the magic that I'm talking about, what is the actual practice that I'm saying, because there's levels to it, there's layers and degrees, because there's a practical aspect and then there's a mystical aspect. The practical aspect, we'll take Kai for example. Kai is, so example, you see he has like the vivid journal. In the vivid journal you see all the early names, the logo, and him documenting with Polaroid just his journey of developing as a fashion designer, learning how to sew, making denim, then there's different drawings, designs, so on and so forth. Now, this is the magic, because every artist, a lot of artists have a sketchbook. My cousin, he's on the same sheet, the same shit Kai's on, he's on the same shit. He has a sketchbook, and then he has his brand, and so on and so forth. But the magic is the elements of the art that takes place in this book. The elements of storytelling that the artist is conveying or telling themselves through the sketchbook. The ideas, the world that they're building. And from talking to my cousin, and as well experiences with him, as well as my own experiences, of course, the manifestation of art, you have to understand, the manifestation of art. He made a character named Bobby Steele. Bobby Steele was a giant, big, bald, black nigga. Watch how deep this shit gets. Alright, but he's like big, like bodybuilder, but he's a villain. He's like a super villain, like nigga. I'm laughing because the fucking this shit is too fucking. It's funny, but it's real at the same time, because the spirit of Bobby, if I say his name too many times, he'll just come through. And I'm not trying to make this the Bobby Steele show right now. We have to save that for another day, because his energy is very intense. A very angry spirit. He has some fear, so on and so forth. But he's a different. But with my cousin, he was telling me that there was him diving into his shadow artistically. But he said when he deals with Bobby, he feels like he's a real person. Like when he is creating this story or writing, he feels like Bobby is telling him the story. But what gets interesting is that with the nature of his story, is like he said he was telling me, like in his apartment building in the back there was an elevator, and in it it's like somebody just like took a big ass stump and left a big ass footprint with some size 17 shoes. And it was like he said he'd never seen it or realized it until like weeks after he started creating this. But he said this nigga, when I went over there and checked this shit and put my foot in this goddamn hole in this elevator, because they tried to cover it up, but you could clearly fit your foot in there. And I wear size 14s, nigga. I have big feet myself, nigga. This shit was bigger than my shit. I said, okay, this Bobby shit is about to get very crazy. But even the Bobby Steele lore, oh man. Like I said, let me not make this the Bobby show. But we're getting into the aspect of the manifestation of the art. That's where I'm getting at, the manifestation of the art. And these characters coming out in real life, or the manifestations of them coming out of real life, or playing off across different channels. Because in the different channels case, when Cuz first told me the character designer, bro, I gave him a very questioned look, because he didn't know anything about Black Moon. You gotta understand, Black Moon looks like me. Black Moon is a bald, light-skinned vampire. He's an immortal vampire. I'm talking about his story. I was getting into my shadow essence, the Black Moon, subconscious, so on, so you see. And then I had another character named Bobby Sees, which comes from another whole different story. Bobby Sees is a singer, and I was like, okay. So when he tells me about Bobby Steele, I'm like, tells me I've never told Cuz the design showed him nothing. So I was like, that's the channel, that's the spirit. That's on a whole other tip, though. That's really on a whole other tip. But this shit really gets very interesting, because even in the sense of Kai's book, I might be reaching when I say this. When y'all know how I be talking about LBA, right? I be saying Lightbringers Association. The only other place that I've seen someone else say LBA is with dealing with the Kai, and I was like, hold on a second. That was the first trigger where I said, all right, let me pay attention. When I seen when he was doing the basketball shit, and this was LBA, I said, interesting, very interesting. And now when I see his sketchbook and the names, the original names for the brand were 528 Hertz, Deity. I'm like, still listening to the Ace? So this nigga listening to the Ace Maceo tracks? Because that's the solfeggio frequencies, the 528 Hertz. And then the Deity, just the Deity work aspects of such. But Vivid, he said, was dealing with more, I think he was saying it was living, it's going on more or less like the tip of immortality, from the living beyond. You get it? And in that branding, I was like, okay, I see where we're getting at with this. This is very, very LBA, very, very lore, very, very very loosey, I'll say. And then I see the logo of Vivid, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say it's the Ukiyo logo, because the Ukiyo logo is an eye. I get the monogram sense, but the Vivid logo, when I looked at it, I see the star of Ishtar, the chaos, or I call it the chaos sigil, or the chaos star. But it's the 8-pointed star. It makes you can see the cross clearly, but there's an X in between that cross as well, which is kind of subliminal in the way he designed it. I may be reaching with that one to say. I might be reaching with that one. I'm not gonna cap to, but just very interesting alignment. Very, very interesting alignment I'm seeing. Just simply the spiritual layer to that, and the channels going forth. But I'm very interested to see what he does with the brand and creatively going forth. I may be participating in the drop. If I see something that I like, I might step out, put together a little piece, put it together with the 914 NY. Shout out, because we gotta put that occult fashion, man. That's true. LBA is truly occult fashion. We're getting into like the esoterics, and you see him literally in these videos talking about him studying, getting his reading these books. He's just reading different books, as well as he's reading, expanding his vocabulary. I'm catching him talking about mythology, and so I'm like, hold on a second. Got some etymology, and shit. I'm like, okay, Kai, I see you expanding your mind, expanding your knowledge base. So he may be getting tapped into some things. I'm not gonna say he's doing magic, but on the practical aspect, he's definitely doing the work. He's definitely locked in. And all that is literally just showing up, doing the basic steps to become who you want to be every day. For him, he wants to speak better. He wants to be a better speaker, get his points better across. So he's going to read better. I'm going to read out loud at that. Like me personally, I can read and read fast, but you tell me to read out loud, you're gonna be like, well, this nigga's stupid. Hey, it's a different ball game. But for me, it's more so the retention aspect. I retain more information when I read silently, just through reading it. When I have to say it out loud, though, it's harder for me to retain it. But I'm pretty sure if I do practice just reading it out loud, for sure, the retention aspect will come back into it, because that's how it was in the ancient day. You remember the dream I told you about on the cruise? No. Actually, no. Yeah, I think I do. Now, remember the dream I told you about when I was on the when I was on the cruise, and it was I had a dream, nigga. It was a cruise. It was me. It was fucking what was her name? Isis Wisdom and that nigga Bandman Kevo. Shit was crazy. I'm like, the fuck? That shit was crazy. But the astral cruise be crazy. The astral cruise be wild. But getting back into because I'm trying to explain this practical and esoteric aspects to the magic. Because the journaling aspect too is like, magically they'll tell you, if you want to create something, create your reality, just journal every day. Just journal the reality that you want to create every day. And simply like I said, as a sketchbook artist in general, or if you're working on this project, you're pretty much putting together a grimoire, so to say, because you're using these spelling words, these sigils as the alphabet, to put together this formulation of this idea of this world. And it's that simple. It's that simple, whether you're drawing pictures, sketching, or writing out the words at scratch. However, it's just getting the ideas out. That's really the key with magic and making it real, is literally to get the idea from out of your head and just a thought, and make it real. And this is why I say that AI art is valid, or AI in general is a valid medium, because if I prompt my idea and the AI is able to expand this or take it through and make it a visual, and then is when I can tweak it and tailor it to my own liking in certain modalities, like with text or video, we can work with it. This is still the coming through the channel. Like in the case of like with text, right? With ChatGPT, you gotta understand, you can pretty much do anything. You can do anything outside of video. You can get chat to pretty much have any conversation, find any knowledge, and this really goes for all the AIs, not just ChatGPT. This goes for Perplexity, Google, DeepSeek, if you want to go to that route. All of them, because they have the capability to take knowledge from the whole knowledge base of the internet, of humankind's record, you feel me? And you can ask it any question, whatever question that comes to your mind, whatever idea that comes to your mind, and through that chat, through that conversation, through that meditation, as if you were to have it with yourself and prompt yourself, you will get to the outcome, to the manifestation, to the answer that you were seeking. So like with technomancy, there's many ways you can do it. It's not just AI. It's really more so using technology, using the tools that they're given, not just being used by the tools. Get me? Don't get used by your phone, which you're doing. No, you want to be a creator and produce your own light, produce your own world, create your own reality through that medium, through that avenue. So as a creator, I want you to think with this mentality. As a magician, I want you to think with this mentality, because you really have to open yourself up and not give a fuck or care to be seen, in a sense, or channel, find the best channel for your creative side. But it has to get out. You have to put it out, and you should put it out, because that will add to the manifestation of your reality, because that is the high perception. So, where was I at? I was not trying to pull one of those. I went 30 minutes without saying where was I at. I was almost good. I might have to go in there for that one. Because I heard it. I heard the thought. That shit went, shoot, nope. Let me see. So as a creator, I want you to think with yourself whenever question comes to you. Okay, there we go. I was getting it. Okay, technomancy. Not letting the phone or the technology use you. You need to use it. So don't, like I said, like with all magic, you need to think with that 5-year mentality. The 5-year mentality being, do this as if nothing will happen for 5 years. You need to enter that level of lock. You just want to do it out of straight passion. This is just literally, I'm giving you another avenue and channel for such magic, passion, so on and so forth. So you have social media, then you have the world. Okay. Now, to understand this, you is to understand magic at a fundamental level, because when you're doing a ritual and casting a spell, it's like you're sending out a message out into the spirit world, or like you're letting off a bomb, like I like to say it, or you're letting off a signal where you are creating a field or tilting the tides. There's many visual aspect metaphors for magic, and in this case, what you're doing is, instead of just, all right, I'm gonna write this down, I'm gonna put this sigil under a jar, on a candle, just burn it. If the work is the constant ritual of it, right, and the ritual is the symbology, repetition, and trauma, or the trauma is really just the emotional charge aspect to it, right, that means pretty much that when you were using social media, that is the play. That is the ritual of social media. That is how they are mind controlling. That's how they're influencing your mind, by the repetition of your feed, your different interests, or certain themes and motifs in the news, in trends, so on and so forth. That's how they get some of their shit off. It's the subliminal programming. But it's through that symbolism, repetition, and emotional charge or trauma that you can flip this and use it for your own magic. What do you mean by this? So here's how I do it. So I have the Ukiyo Temple page, right? I'm pretty much about to explain to y'all the whole magic and how I do technomancy. That's pretty much what I'm about to explain to you. How I do magic using social media and shit. And it's really simple. It's really simple. So with the Ukiyo Temple, right, I'm posting the AI art images, and I'm building the Ukiyo lore, showing y'all the different spirits, the different characters, and by giving spirit form, right, what you're doing is you're allowing the spirit, or giving the spirit, a mask, a face, a gateway, a key to which it can be worked with. Now, in that, the spirit can show up in other forms. They can have their own sigil and show up in another form, because this is the case with the Goetia. But it's also the aspect of, you gotta understand what is the spirit, like what aspect of you is the spirit reflecting, because that's what all the spirits are, especially in my cosmology, and understanding how creation works, because understand, from any story, by default you are getting the subconscious of the author. You have to understand, from any story you're getting tales, stories, manifestations, symbols from the mind of the author. So that goes for any story, whether it be films, stories, comics, Spider-Man, so on and so forth. because when one is creating and writing and producing these works, they enter a creative flow. And through that creative flow is that subconscious channel. And on the other side to it, like with the movies, that comes into this symbol, repetition, and trauma, emotional charge aspect, because you are playing out this full-on story, and they can construct it, and for it to be seen repetitious many times over the following how many years. So, and through that repetitious of the film, through the frames, and that setting, just that story being projected in the film theater, that is the Luciferian, they'll say, the light magic, the LBA magic. That's the actual aspect of it. Like, if you go to an AMC film, like go to an actual movie theater, I want y'all to watch before the movie even starts. You have to go early before you go to the movie. Before the movie starts, when they dim the lights, they'll start playing an AMC preview, and it's talking about, it's just getting you ready for this. It's just an AMC, like I guess it's for the theater, I guess. Not, it's because it's not for the individual theaters, for like the AMC like brand, and they're just talking about like Starlight. If I find that if I find it online, I'll link it under this video. But if you go to the movies and you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But pay attention to the language in that little clip, in that scene, as well as what they're saying, and they're really explaining to you the actual light bringer magic, the magic of movies, because they're telling you this story, this world. They're getting you encapsulated into this world. They're making you feel like you are a part, not just a part of the story, but in the story. You believe that it's real. You think that you're watching a movie, yes, because you're in the movie theater, of course, but the emotions, that the fact that you're locked in on this film, that you're giving so much focus to it, you're in that trance. It's a two-way street. Now we're getting into the tantric highway. The tantric highway, I'll call it that one. As I go on. How the fuck did I get over there? How the fuck I get to talk about that one? Let's see. Let me see. Damn, I went through that motherfucker bullet points quick as hell. I went through them bullet points quick as shit. Damn. Okay. I think I talked about everything. Let me know if y'all got any questions. If y'all ain't here listening, like if y'all got any questions, if I left anything unsaid. Cause I just went to the left a little bit off the rails. But y'all let me know if y'all got any questions. Anything else I wanted to say? Because I talked about. Let me see. I think I got it. Oh, fucking Technomancy. I'm still talking about the goddamn Technomancy, my ass. I feel like I'm missing something though. I feel like I'm missing something in it. Because I was saying how I was talking about Ukiyo Temple and the magic do there. Which I was saying, so I was talking about how, so by posting the different spirits and using the AI art as mediums, using the AI art as a medium for the spirits, right? Through the spirit symbology, their colors, their archetypes, their forms, so on, so forth, their lore, their history, and depicting it through the imagery, and then projecting it out to the world. We are still going forth on that LBA magic, on bringing the light. So technomancy is literally just, instead of me just putting this in this journal, right, instead of me just burning it to the elements or burying it in the earth, I'm going to cast this spell via a social media post, a video, right, an image, right, that will be posted upon my channel, YouTube channel, which is open to the whole sea of the collective, right, to the public, you could say. Instagram pages, TikTok, so on, so any of these platforms, really, platforms, planets, so on and so forth. And then from there, you can take it another step further and post in different planetary hours, or post based on different planetary days. And it's that simple. From there, the magic is complete. It's simply from there, it's back to ritual formation, putting together different symbologies, different correspondences. So when a spirit comes through, right, what I'll do is, all right, I'll get together their symbols, get together their correspondences, the same way I would as if I was at the altar, right? I'll get together that candle with that color, get these herbs with these planetary alignments that align to this spirit. I will do it on this day, right? We're gonna do that same thing, but we're just gonna go, probably prompt, or I could probably create something, because they don't just apply just to doing AI shit. You can still do this like just when you're creating naturally. I can make a beat in a certain planetary hour, right? Post it in a certain planetary hour or planetary day. You feel me? Put together an art piece in a planetary hour a day. Put it out certain planetary hour a day. Then if everything's aligned symbolically, it corresponds. You feel me? That is the ritual. That is the alignment. And through doing this practice over time, you develop this world. You develop this your own system, your own lore. You get it? And like through practicing magic alone, I can see this happening in other creatives, because if I know, though, this is when I knew this nigga Playboy Cardi dropped on a goddamn blood moon. that's when I knew this nigga knew something, because I was gonna drop that same day, because it was literally it was perfect ritualistic alignment. It was damn near chef's kiss perfect ritualistic alignment. And then I'll say, God damn. And then you see like putting out things on certain dates, or having events take place on certain dates. It happens for a reason, or as a creative, or as a curator, as a director, you're doing it for a certain reason, to change reality, to create reality. Like, example, they're like, this is a crazy ball game. Why do you only celebrate yourself on your birthday? You should only celebrate yourself once a year. You can celebrate yourself every day, every hour if you want it. As a day of the week, the day that you were born of the week. There's significance to layers to all of these things. Depends on what layer you want to take it. You can go as deep as you want, or as surface as you want. I ask you to go a little bit deeper. You ain't got to go super deep, because going deep isn't for everyone. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's not. But it is there for you. I will say that there is more. There always will be more knowledge. There always will be more to fuck around and find out. But remember, ignorance is bliss. So create the path that you seek. Because ultimately you are the creator. You are the projector. You are the soul, the sun, right? That is projecting this light. That is casting this light out. And that is the fundamental basis of magic, of especially creating your reality, the LBA magic. Because through the sun, the light goes through Venus, right? And the sun is just pure white light. Through Venus, it becomes color. So through Venus is where you have all these different mediums. So in Venus, you'll have Hollywood, the movies, art, fine art, music, all these different modalities, these mediums, these tools is through the Venus current as a creative. And that's why we rock with the LBA, the Venusians. Shout out Ishtar, First Lady, Astrology, Isis, all set, Goddess of 10,000 names, Lucy Morningstar. And the game is really been a trick against you to not create your own reality. I don't get how people don't see that the whole game, right, and the propaganda is they want people to conform to their reality, to their lifestyle. They don't believe in free reign. Like, we have free markets, right, they say, but are we really free? Or is your jail disguised? Do you not see that the sky might be falling? And not that the sky is falling, but more so that there's a dome. I'm not saying that shit is flat. Don't talk to me about flat earth. I've actually been on a plane. But nigga, when it comes to this, right? You decide. You create reality as you see so fit. It is do as thou wilt. And when they'll say, like, don't share your manifestations, don't share your ideas, on one level, don't get them taken or stolen. But on another level, it'll be like, because you don't want the evil eye, the hate to negate the magic. And I'm like, nigga, what is power then? How powerful are you then? You feel me? Like, the one of the most powerful scenes or visions to me is like that of Babe Ruth. When Babe Ruth, he put his hand out and was like, walked off. I'm like, okay, because they said he called the shot. And it's like, you know, talk about it, be about it. It's like, it's one thing to stay and talk about this shit, right? It's another to actually be it and actually pull it off. It's another to actually put in the work, and get it done. So like I can sit here and tell you about these stories and the lore, right? But really I should be locked in writing, reading more, exploring more, to make it the best story that it can be. So I can tell it the best that way that it can be told. Because right now, I have the ability to do that. See, yes, I could put the story out now. Yes, I could put out the draft as it is now. Of course. But will that be the best? Will it be my best? Will I be able to tell you that is my best? No. Because I have not put my all into it. I have not gone full into the stories yet. Certain ones, that Andreas shit is pretty thought out. That Andreas lore, that one is pretty thought out. But in terms of, I'm talking about like actually sitting down, writing, actually putting together different creations. Like I'm at the point now, I don't want to just make beats every week. I don't want to even talk every week. I'm trying to find a conversation to talk about. I'm trying to teach, because my whole ideal is not to teach. 1 second, Mom. Yeah, keep putting it first, yo. Thank you. But my whole ideal is not. My whole ideal isn't to teach. And in that, it's like I'm just trying to express myself. I'm just trying to get these ideas across. Trying to print, you feel me? Yeah, get some insight. Yeah, understand. You feel me? But my whole game is really more so the expression aspect of it. And that expression aspect of it is the actual art. That is the art. So my whole thing is that this is natural, man. This isn't a special thing. This is a natural occurrence. I'm just recording that. Just capturing that. Capturing nature. I feel like I'm on my Discovery Channel shit. And we're literally discovering, exploring self. And that's where I feel myself about to start moving on one level of life, where I'm just gonna start exploring more, but as well creatively. Like I said earlier, I want to start get back in my video editing bag, digital design, really taking my time with different pieces and see what I can produce, and then take that to its fullest extent. Because when I start doing these movies, I start getting these Kiki Kane films, that Black Moon Eclipse. I want to get my vision. I want to get my vision out. I want to truly get it. Be able to explain it thoroughly, convey the message thoroughly. As well, keep the nature of reality and the rawness that comes with these stories. Because that's another thing too, is that there's a level of rawness in the storytelling, multi-layers, feel me, that from like when I write that I get at. But I think I'm gonna get off here though. I think I've yapped enough. I think y'all get the point. Y'all might or may not have a secret YouTube account coming up on here somewhere sometime. There may or may not have been deals made recently. There may or may not be another Ukiyo Temple episode. You never know. I don't know when the next time I'll be on here live and talk. What the next thing I'll be talking about is. Because now y'all know the magic. I explained to y'all how to do magic through social media. It's very simple. It's all up to your intention, gang. It depends on what reality are you trying to create. Because understand, life is a movie. You are the main character, as well as the director, the script writer, the author, so on and so forth. So whatever reality you want to project, if you want to be a megastar rapper, that's what you need to be projecting every day. That's what you need to be showing up as every day. If you want to be a teacher, a monk, mystic, practice, get into those practices every day. So this isn't just a content thing and showing up on YouTube or on TikTok shit. No, I'm saying get in the studio, get in the astral planes, do the mantras, record your lyrics, be intentional, actually lock in. You feel me? So, but just, if you want to be a trader, show up to the markets every day. It's that simple. Because see, this is the game. This is the world that we're going to now. Because understand, they had us living to where we showed up at this 9 to 5 every day. So our identity became attached to the 9 to 5, to our jobs. But what if you show up for yourself every day, for whatever it is that you want to do? You feel me? Like if I show up for myself in the markets with Forex, the way I showed up for myself when I first got my job, I am guaranteed to succeed. If I show up for myself in these markets the way I showed up for myself in music, when I was first making music, I'm telling you right now, I'm guaranteed to succeed. Anyone can succeed. Any goal that you have accomplished, anything that you have accomplished before, you have accomplished before. And in that accomplishment, you can accomplish anything that you strive to. You can learn anything. You can find out anything nowadays. You can do it. The choice is yours. We're in 2026, year of the fire horse. All the astrology lines up. Ask any astrologer right now. Find any Vedic astrologer or even tropical astrology too. It all lines up right now. It's all a transformation. Fucking 7 planets for one new moon in the same sign house. It's getting wild. It's a new world that we're walking into. Yes, you will have the shit on the collective scale. On the global scale, they'll have their war agenda going. But don't let the war be on you. Feel me? You need to overcome the war within yourself. Tame the beast. You feel me? Don't wild out here. Don't crash out. So take this time to lock in. Ask yourself, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Because I already told you, don't even think about 5 years. Like I said, when you do this, you need to think like you're going to see shit for 5 years. So where do you see yourself in 10 to 20? Because I'm telling you, in anything that you do, like example, it's like if you intend, like if a kid grows up, right, and he intends going to college, that nigga, I'm going to become a doctor. He will be a doctor in 15 years, guaranteed. They're going to get this degree. They will get it. They will for sure fulfill their purpose, whatever goal it is that they seek. So give yourself the environment. Create yourself the environment. You have to put yourself in the scene. For example, with myself, like I said, doing the trading, the forex, the markets. But as well, I told y'all I want to be, or will become, a spiritual consultant. And in that, so the scene is, I come out the elevator, 23rd floor, hit the receptionist's office. I'm here for a meeting with Mr. Jones. Quest is waiting on you. Thank you, baby girl. I could sit and talk to her for a minute, but this meeting's pretty important. The market's about to open. He wants a one-on-one meeting with me before market opens. I enter into the office of Mr. Ifwen Quest Jones. Man, I could keep going into the scene, and this is gonna put me deeper and deeper into the character and visualization. And through that exercise, it's just gonna create that it's gonna further create that reality. It will further and further become real, not just on the external level, but for me, we're in an eternal conscious level, and that's where it begins. When it becomes real for you, the rest kind of, the dominoes fall. As we'll say, the dominoes fall. Understand this world, this reality, this realm is malleable. The world can be changed. Your life can change. And it can change overnight. It can change overnight. Shout out Nia Kala. So it's just a matter of will you allow it. Shout out Law Musgrave. Are you the exception? Shout out to Dragon of Override, man. Shout out to Dragon of Override. Shout out to the Patreon niggas. Shout out to the niggas watching this, seeing this. Shout out to the niggas from past, future, and present. I think y'all know what to do next. Y'all got the blueprint, y'all got the roadmap. Y'all got all the tools at hand. It's a matter of really just asking yourself, or really coming to terms with it, being real. What do you want? Who are you? Be authentic in that. Allow that to be that, because you are that. Until next time, see.